The Mystery of the Missing Necklace. In the quaint village of Little Wimberry, life was as serene as the rolling countryside that surrounded it. That is, until the day Mrs. Adelaide Van Cleef's priceless diamond necklace went missing. The village buzzed with whispers of the theft, and soon enough, the famous detective Hercule Poirot was called in to solve the case. He was greeted by the flustered Mrs. Van Cleef, who was nearly in tears. "Oh, Mr. Poirot, you must help me. My necklace, it's gone." Poirot, ever the calm and collected figure, reassured her. "Madam, rest assured, we shall find your necklace. Now, tell me, who had access to your jewelry box?" Mrs. Van Cleef hesitated. "Well, there's my maid, Annette. She's been with us for years. And then there was the gardener, Mr. Green, who was inside to fix a broken window, and of course my son, Edward, who came home unexpectedly last night." Poirot began his investigation by questioning each suspect. Annette, the maid, was a nervous young woman with a spotless record. "I would never steal from Mrs. Van Cleef," she insisted. "I've served her faithfully for 10 years. Mr. Green, the gardener, seemed puzzled by the accusation. "I was in and out fixing the window. I never even saw the necklace." Poirot's final interview was with Edward, a charming yet somewhat aloof young man. "Mother's always been protective of her jewels," he said. "I came home last night, but I was in my room the entire time." Poirot examined the crime scene meticulously. He noticed that the window Mr. Green had fixed was directly opposite the room where the necklace was kept. Upon closer inspection, he found a small, barely noticeable piece of cloth snagged on the windowsill. "Interesting," Poirot murmured to himself. "But why would a thief go through the trouble of entering through a window if they had access to the house?" Poirot called all the suspects into the drawing room. "I have deduced who the thief is," he announced. "The person responsible is none other than—" Before he could finish, Mrs. Van Cleef's son, Edward, interrupted. "It was Annette, wasn't it? I knew it." Poirot shook his head. "No, Edward, it was you." Edward's face turned pale. "That's absurd. Why would I steal from my own mother?" Poirot smiled. "Precisely because you believed you would not be suspected. You returned home unexpectedly, went through the window to create the illusion of an external thief, and took the necklace. The piece of cloth I found matches the sleeve of your jacket." Edward knew he was caught. He had taken the necklace to pay off gambling debts. With a heavy heart, Mrs. Van Cleef handed him over to the authorities. Poirot, satisfied with the resolution, bid farewell to the village of Little Wimberry. As he left, the villagers couldn't help but marvel at the detective's brilliance, grateful that peace had been restored to their quiet lives.